Hi, and welcome to my new kitchen. So today I'm actually on camera, and today I have a really great recipe for you guys. Actually, it's two different types of meat that I'm going to marinate to make chicken kebabs and pork kebabs with, along with some vegetables as well. So quickly, I'm going to try to record the video with minimal editing in between, unless I make some mistakes, so please forgive me. This is my new kitchen, as you saw. Tour my kitchen in my previous video. It's much bigger. I have a big island where I can spread out all my ingredients, and this will help me film everything in one, basically just like in one view, one continuous view, without having to do too much chopping and editing in between. The stove is behind me, so if I'm cooking something on the stove, I'll probably bring the camera over this way. So anyway, if you're new, welcome to my channel, Livin' to the Fullest. Livin' is actually half of my last name, so it's I know how to spell it correctly, but I spell it that way because that's how my name's spelled for my channel. So I like to cook, I like to shop, do shopping hauls, and I like to do different crafts. So today's video is going to be mainly cooking, and we're cooking the meat. Oh, we're going to be preparing it in a marinade and cooking it on the grill, on an outdoor grill. But this recipe is really great because this is actually from another channel, another YouTuber. She also she films her videos in Russian, and she lives in Germany. And I have been her follower for many, many years, probably 6 years or so. And so Irina, thank you. I will tag her because her channel is amazing. So if you're a Russian speaking person or Ukrainian speaking person, please follow her. She's great. And I took the idea from her channel because her family barbecues a lot, and they make a lot of Moldovan, Russian, and German recipes, kind of a mix. So I really liked her recipe. I'm going to give this a try. I believe she marinated her meat. Her meat of choice was also pork, but I'm going to add a bowl that's going to be just chicken. Because not everyone, at least in my house, is a fan of pork, but I love pork. I love both. So Irina, большое вам спасибо. So let's get going kind of generally with the ingredients. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use fresh onions, and she used maybe 4, 5, 6 small onions. I only have one large one. So I'm going to supplement that with some onion pucks that I already had frozen. So I'm letting them kind of thaw out right here on my counter. A puck of garlic, and it's just an ice cube size. So one puck of garlic is probably about 6 cloves of garlic, but for this much meat, this is about 4 pounds of pork, and this is about 2 pounds of chicken breast. That should be enough. So, but again, flavor according to your own taste. You also used, or when you make kebabs, you can buy a pre-made spice mix, add your own herbs. I'm doing a traditional kebab style. I believe I found a Turkish recipe. So what it is about a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 teaspoons of coriander, about 1.5 teaspoons of turmeric, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, about 1.5 teaspoons of pepper and salt, black pepper, and paprika, about 1 tablespoon. So those are going to be my spices. And we're going to do this in layers, and I will show you how I do it. And once we mix the onions with the spices and rub it into the meat, then our topping, or the sauce that it's going to marinate in, will be made of mineral water, sparkling water. We're going to add some bay leaves in the layers, mix in some mayonnaise, mustard, and tomato paste. And to me, these were interesting ingredients. I've never really used mayonnaise to marinate meats before, and I've also never really put mineral water, but I believe it would probably function in a similar way that vinegar would, to break down and tenderize the meat, or lemon juice, or beer. Beer or any kind of carbonated drink would also do the same. Coca-Cola is used in some recipes, but it's just clear, unflavored, sparkling water. This is mineral water that I found at my local grocery store at Walmart. So let's get going with the onions. And I'm going to chop them up into half moons, and she did do these in layers, so I will show you how to do it as well. And we will let them sit overnight. If you don't have that much time, at least an hour or two would be good too. But the more time you let the meat marinate, the better it will taste, and the more tender and juicy it should turn out. As I said, I'm also going to do some skewers with vegetables only, because I think they do kind of cook at different temperatures. So I'm going to keep them separate from the meat. So we'll have skewers with meat only and skewers with vegetables only. Okay, so now onto the chicken. I'm using a plastic cutting board. To me, I feel like this is much easier to clean than a dishwasher, but I don't know. Let me know. Should I be using a wooden cutting board for meat too? I feel like it's kind of a controversial topic, so you guys let me know what's best. I've read, again, big chunks, about a 1-inch thickness. Chicken's gonna go in here. I kind of read both ways, that if you use plastic, it doesn't fully disinfect even in the dishwasher. And that if you use wood, because it's a natural material, the pores in the wood will eventually kill the bacteria. Okay. But I have such a large wooden cutting board, I don't want to wash that by hand every time I use chicken or meat or any kind of raw meat recipe, because I'll be washing it a lot. So I use the plastic ones, I rinse them, and then I put them in the dishwasher. So I'm going to do that right now. Place all of this away and wash my hands and sanitize this area right here. Okay, so this is how she did it in layers, and let me show you. If you had all pork, let's say 5 to 6 pounds of pork, then you would want to do about 4 layers. So the first thing she did, I don't know, this is the first time I ever saw a kind of layering of meat that way. All her spices were already pre-mixed. So I'm mixing this up, sprinkling it here, and then doing about, and I think some of it, doing it in layers like this, is releasing also it's for releasing the onion juice from the onions, releasing it by hand. If you just kind of dump them in sort of a salad style, and I'm kind of squeezing kind of hard here just to make sure I'm breaking up the onion. I think if you just put it on top, the flavor's not really going to get through as much as than if you're actually breaking out by hand like this. And obviously smaller layers make the mixing a little easier. And yeah, because I think if you just put the onions on top, then that's more like a salad. That's not really marinating the chicken the correct way. And I'm excited to see how these flavors turn out. I may use either a different herb packet next time, or I may use a different alternative to the mineral water. I may just use light beer or dark beer. I think that would be good too. I know I've made German meatballs before, and they cook in dark beer, like a Guinness, and they're really delicious. And if you don't want to use beer, use a dark soda like Coca-Cola or Pepsi. That would turn out really great too. And then here we go, the last of the pork, adding it in. So really the spices right here and the onions serve as basically your dry marinade, your dry component of this brine. You could even probably have left it just like this. This would be delicious. But adding all these other add-ins is gonna add a little bit more fattiness, more flavor, and again, the acidity will help to tenderize the meat. So I think I left out a few ingredients. We need more of the onion, half of the garlic, because the other half will go into the chicken, and then more fresh onion slices. And I think you could still substitute this white onion for any other variety of onion or red onion that you might have. So I'm going to leave that like that for the sake of time. And also I'm going to show you, if you don't have gloves, you could still do this with a spatula. You just have to mix it better, mix it a little longer, or a little bit more thoroughly than with gloves. So I don't want to go get another set of gloves. So I'm just gonna mix it like this. And again, salt and pepper was already on this, but if you prefer to add your salt and pepper at the end or after the kebabs are already cooked, that's up to you. But salt definitely helps tenderize the meat as well, and the salt releases some of the juice out of the onions as well. So that's a good step to add the salt here at the beginning. You don't have to add a lot. You can always add a little more at the end, but definitely start with some salt. So I have one that I mixed, with gloves, and this I'm mixed with a spatula. They both methods seem to work fine. So choose your preference. These will be in the fridge for 24 hours, and I'm just going to cover them with saran wrap. But you could also just cover them with a lid or aluminum foil. So moving on, one of the other interesting parts of the marinade is that you mix kind of your liquid topping, your liquid sauce, the liquid portion of this marinade in a separate bowl. So I will show you this in steps as well. And now I'm not really measuring it. I'm just kind of eyeballing it because I don't think I have the exact same measurements as the recipe that I'm referencing. So, but I do know that once everything was mixed, it was kind of white. So you kind of want a good chunk of mayonnaise in there. I'm using Dijon mustard, but you could use whatever mustard you have on hand. Bay leaves, I think I will go ahead and put them in the solution, but really, ideally, I think you want to kind of mix them in, but without breaking them into layers. And then probably 2 to 3 good squeezes of tomato paste. I like to buy mine in a tube. This doesn't spoil as quickly as if you had one with a lid because it keeps the air out really well. And I just find it a lot easier to use. And then you just squeeze it out like toothpaste out of a toothpaste tube. And then so this is kind of what it'll look like. And then to this, we're adding in the mineral water. And we may need to, after I stir it, we may need to add a couple more ingredients. But it was really a good portion of mineral water. About I would say 6 to 8 cups. Yeah, and stirring it in a separate bowl is what ensures that the mayonnaise kind of breaks up, the mustard breaks up, it's all even, and you don't have to go in with your gloves again. You're really just pouring this then right over your meat. I'm gonna add, I'm gonna taste it. It's good. Right now it's very mild. So I think to it, I'm going to add more mayonnaise and more mustard. But again, this is not the full flavor of the marinade because we did have so many herbs and spices already on our meat. And cooking on the grill will give it a smoky flavor all on its own. So, but I think that diluted it too much. So again, mix, taste as you go, and then all you really do is pour about 2/3 onto this side, or if you had even portions, you just divide up the liquid evenly. I'm gonna get a clean spoon, and it's as easy as that. Stir it in, make sure the meat is under the liquid as much as possible. I'm gonna leave the spoon in there so that way after a few hours, if there's a few pieces sticking out and they're drying out, I can still mix it. I usually do that. Even if I make a salad, I just leave the utensil right in there. Just makes it easier. Grab and go. Grab and go. So this is it. One marinade It's a mixture of a dry brine and a liquid marinade, and these will both sit in the fridge overnight. I'm gonna put them on skewers tomorrow when we're ready to grill. Add some vegetable skewers, and I will show you that step tomorrow and let you know how it tastes. So thanks for watching this piece, and part 2 coming soon.